if you are a creative, an entrepreneur, an artist, or an influencer, and you are someone who has a weird relationship with visibility, like you want to show up out in the world, but there is a part of you that hesitates, there is a part of you that is a little scared, and there is a part of you that lets all of these auxiliary thoughts around visibility dominate your actions, then listen on. I have the most juiciest tips for you today. Hi, this is Shalvika, and welcome to Rich as Fuck, Real as Fuck. This is my podcast where we talk about all things creativity, visibility, mindset, money, and the devotion that it takes for you to actually go out there and make it big in your business. And that's exactly what we are going to be doing today. Awesome. So I have my notes here, and I want to today talk to you about 4 ways for you to relook at your relationship with visibility. And I feel like this is such an important topic to talk about because we live in a world where visibility is crucial to our businesses. Like, if you were running a business in the 80s and the 90s, then being visible online was not really your problem because online didn't really exist, right? So your bubble, your extent of visibility for most people, for most businesses, was very limited. But now we have this unique opportunity to actually reach anyone in the world, any corner of the world. Like, I can sit here talking into my MacBook, and I can have someone in the remote parts of Africa, I can have someone in New Mexico, I can have someone in Europe sitting and listening to my words. And that is a blessing when it comes to businesses like mine. But I also know that it can bring up a lot of fears. It can bring up all sorts of feelings for when it comes to visibility. And here's the thing, fear of visibility is very fucking normal. It's very human, to be honest, because we don't want to be judged by the people around us. We don't want the people around us to cancel us, to negate us, to think that our thoughts are so radical that we don't really belong to them. And this is a very evolutionary instinct, right? Because at one point in time when we were hunter gatherers, we actually lived in packs. So us conforming to the rules of our pack was extremely essential for our survival. Our survival depended on the fact that our pack accepted us. You no longer live in jungles. You fucking live in, like, I live in like a high-rise building in a metro city in India, right? Like, we don't have those kind of threats anymore. But my brain still has not onboarded. Evolutionarily, it still hasn't realized that that is not something that is happening to us right now. And that is why fear of visibility is very normal. And I feel like no matter what level you are in, this fear is always going to be there. Like in 2019, when I first started doing face to camera videos like this, I was so shit scared. But the thing is, even today, the reason why I always have my notes is because there is this slight fear that what if I start talking, what if I start blabbing, and then I don't remember what I have to talk about, and then I fumble, and then people realize that, oh my god, like she's not really an expert and authority, and all of that is valid. It happens. It shows you that you are human. But I'm going to offer you 4 reframes, 4 ways to relook at that relationship with visibility. Awesome. The first way, the first reframe that I want to offer to you is that visibility does not mean negative exposure. Visibility is just exposure. Visibility is neutral exposure. So all of these fears that they are going to judge me, they are going to probably write nasty comments on my video or on my emails or whatever. They are going to think, oh my god, who does she think she is? Like, why is she trying to tell me? All of these people could exist outside in the world, but there could also be people that tell you that, you know what, I actually found what you have to say very, very helpful. You added so much value to my life. And this literally happens to me so many times when I'll meet up a random friend, and that friend would be like, oh my God, what you're saying, what you're talking about on your Instagram, on your YouTube is so fucking valuable for me. You can't even like imagine. And I have never even thought that this person was listening to me or watching me do what I'm doing. Right? So visibility is neutral. What you think about visibility is what is driving those fears. So it does not necessarily mean that if I am visible, I'm going to be judged, I'm going to be rejected, I am going to fear for my safety, right? None of that is true. Visibility is neutral. I may be visible to, there was a point in time when I was visible to 400 people, 500 people. Now I'm visible to thousands of people, right? But my visibility is still neutral. What I make it out to be in my head is what is driving. So, say I'm about to like record a video like I'm doing right now, and a part of me is like, oh my God, like if I say this, people are going to. People are going to reject me. People are going to be like, okay, we are going to cancel you, right? That is an assumption that I'm making. Could that happen? Yes, of course it could happen. But probabilistically, if that's going to happen, the probability of someone coming up and saying, oh my God, what you share is so fucking valuable is also true. So, if any way my thoughts about visibility are an assumption, why don't I actually choose to believe the assumption that will empower me? Why don't I just be like, okay, you know what? Every time I record a video, every time I post a video on Instagram, I post a video on YouTube, someone's life is going to be changed. I'm going to add so much fucking value in their life that they are going to walk away a different person. And that is the assumption that I'm going to make before I go in. So, the first reframe that I want to offer is visibility does not mean negative exposure. Visibility is neutral. What you think about it is making it positive or negative, right? The second, and this is very intrinsically connected to the first point that I made as well. So the second reframe is that everything that I think, okay, listen to me carefully, everything that I think is not the absolute truth. And I'm going to give you an example. Maybe not maybe, I recorded a video today talking about this really successful Instagrammer. Her name is Jessie Jean, and she's exploded massively. She had like a $2 million launch in 6 months of starting her Instagram account. And obviously, a part of me was really scared of putting that out there because I was like, oh my God, what are people going to think? Like, people are going to think that, oh, why is she commenting on someone like her? Like, she's not that big. What gives her the right to do that? Now, the thing is, objectively speaking, that thought that I have is not the absolute truth. What do I mean by that? Every single thought that we have about our visibility, every single thought that we have about us being imposters, every single fear that we have about showing up, every single fear that we have about selling and expanding our businesses are actually just that. They are thoughts. They are not as true as gravity. If I throw this lip balm into the air, it's going to come down. That is gravity. No matter where I am on this earth, no matter who is throwing, and again, on this earth, that's why I specified for all you physics geeks out there, no matter who is throwing this lip balm in the air, it is going to come down. That is the truth. The sun is going to rise in the east. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. No matter where you are on this earth, who you are, what race, what creed, what age, what wealth you are, these things are going to be true. But your thoughts about visibility, your thoughts about around the fears of visibility are not an absolute truth. So they are just my interpretation of the world. And again, going back to speaking about this evolutionarily, it is very natural for our brains to warn us, especially when something bad could happen. And it's a very important life-saving skill. Like when you are crossing a road, it's very important for you to remember to actually look on either side of the road, because you know what, if a car comes up and hits me, I'm going to fucking die, or I'm going to break my leg or something like that. So it's important for me to remember these negative things that could happen. But our brains, because of this evolutionary safety instinct, tend to just filter out negative thoughts so much more than positive thoughts. It's going to store our fears much more than it's going to show us what could go right, right? So then it's your job to intentionally actually choose thoughts that will help you grow. So if it is anyway my interpretations can change, right? Like at one point in time, the human race used to believe that the earth is flat, right? We no longer believe that. We used to believe that the atom is the smallest part uh, of matter. We no longer believe that, right? There's so much that we don't know. So it's just my interpretation based on my knowledge and my experiences. So none of these thoughts that I have around my fears of visibility, around my fears of being seen, are actually true. And that is, frankly, for me, that just feels like such a freeing thought, because if they are not true, it means I can just go out and do whatever I want, be whoever the fuck I want, and I can get away with it, right? That's the second reframe, that not all of my thoughts are the truth. The third reframe that I want to offer you is that discomfort does not mean that it is wrong or unsafe. I think, again, I talked about this in a video on Instagram today, and I feel like we live in this time where we have so much access to information that we have started clinicalizing everything. Everything becomes a trigger, right? Everything that feels a little uncomfortable is a trigger. It becomes a trauma response. It becomes something that my nervous system is feeling unsafe. The truth of the fact is, you need discomfort. You need to put yourself in situations that feel slightly unsafe in order to grow. And I'm going to show you what I mean. When you say when you started your business and the first time you're about to pitch to a client, like I remember the first time that I got on a sales call with someone, and I was so fucking jittery, because I was like, I'm gonna ask this person for money to work with me. Like, oh my god, who am I to be doing that, right? It was bloody uncomfortable. That discomfort existed in my body, that discomfort existed in my mind. My palms were sweating, I was shivering a little. All of those things happened. But you know what has happened since then? I have been on hundreds of consultation calls. I no longer go into them with a space of jitteriness. In fact, I go the other way around. Every time I'm about to get on a consultation call with someone, I actually tell myself, I don't need this client. I don't need this client, because the minute I say that, it just makes my nervous system so safe. And objectively speaking, I am not desperate enough to like want every single person who is getting on a consultation call with me, right? But the fact of the matter is, discomfort does not mean it is wrong, right? Just because it doesn't feel right in your body does not mean it is wrong. If you are a runner, or if you work out, the first time that you decided that you are going to start lifting weights, you didn't go and lift 100 kilos. You started with 5 kilos, probably started with 2 kilos, and then you gradually moved to like 5, then 8, then 10, then 20. That's how you build your muscle. That discomfort is important. It's not wrong. It's exactly what you need right now to explode in your business, to grow in your business, to explode your visibility. So, yes, visibility might bring about a lot of discomfort for you right now, but that discomfort is necessary, because 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, you're going to look back and you're going to think, oh my God, like, why was I so scared to just like record a face to cam video? Or why was I scared to pitch to this client? Like, I do that so easily right now. Like, take a pause right now and think about all of those things that at one point you would have been like, oh my God, how do I do that? And you do those things every single day now, right? And that's what discomfort is. It's extremely essential to grow. So I'm going to go so far as to say that actually intentionally seek discomfort. See what are the ways in which you could shake some things up in your business right now, and then bring and invite in more discomfort, because the more discomfort you invite into your business, the faster you are going to grow, right? That is the third reframe that I had. And the fourth reframe that I want to offer is, if I'm not visible, it means I'm hiding. And if I'm hiding, I am paying so much more in terms of the money that I'm not making, in terms of the business that I'm not growing, in terms of the products that I'm not selling, in terms of how small I am choosing to stay. Because you not being visible enough is a choice that you are making. It is not a circumstance. It is not something, excuse me, it is not something that is happening to you. It is a choice that you are making, and that choice that is leading you to hide is costing you in your life, in your business, in your confidence, in your results. And do you really want that? And I'm going to actually take this a little bit further. I don't have this written here, but I'm going to take this a little bit further and talk about who you are actually being visible for, right? Like, what am I being visible for? Like, maybe you might be thinking, I'm being visible because I want to grow on social media. Okay, maybe that's a valid point, but why do you want to grow on social media, right? Because if you're here, chances are you have a business, which means you want to sign clients, you want to serve people, you want to change people's lives. That may be by selling them a piece of art, that may be selling them your service, that may be offering them some trackers that they can use to actually like build a better business and build a better life, whatever it is that you're offering. The aim of your visibility is so that you can serve your people. But when you hide, when you are choosing to not be visible, you are actually not serving. You are rather choosing to not serve your people, which means you are doing a disservice to everyone who could benefit from what you have to offer. So, me not being visible is actually a disservice to every single one of you who's sitting here and watching this video. Because if I had chosen to hide this, I would not be here creating this video, right? So, these are my four reframes, four ways to relook at your relationship with visibility. I'm going to do a quick recap of these. The first is, visibility does not mean negative exposure, visibility is neutral. What you make of it is what is driving your result. The second is, all of my thoughts, all of my fears, all of my holdups are not the absolute truth. And if they are not the absolute truth, it means they are an assumption. And if they are an assumption, I can always assume something that is going to actually make me win. The third is, not all discomfort is wrong or unsafe or triggering. In fact, discomfort is absolutely fucking essential for your growth. It is the way, it is the pathway to success. And the last one is, by me not choosing to not be visible, I am hiding. And by me hiding, I am paying in so much more by staying small, not making money. And more than anything else, I'm doing a disservice to everyone who could actually benefit from what I have to offer. So, if any of these points actually resonated with you, I want you to drop in a comment below. I am going to take all of those comments and I'm going to coach you all in my comments here, right here in YouTube. Also, every Saturday, I host a coffee chat inside my school community. I'm going to put the link in the show notes, but I want to invite you to that community. It's absolutely free to join. And when you join, you get access to some of the amazing gold that I have created over the years. So, if you are a creative, a writer, an artist, an entrepreneur, a dancer, an influencer, basically, if you're someone who makes money through your creativity, I invite you to join in, because trust me when I say it's a beautiful community that's going to offer you so much value And most importantly, you get to get coached by me every single Saturday for free. Awesome. I'm going to see you inside. I will talk to you next week. Ciao.